Hiya. Right, this is for Rach's Artful Evidence hashtag event challenge thingy. Started off with a colouring page. I'm colouring it in with water soluble pencils, just regular ones, not Inktense or anything. And then starting with the lightest colour, smudging towards the darkest colour. Doing quite a few of these at the moment. Basically waiting for my painkillers to set in and work. I've been doing them sat up in bed. That's why you don't see me doing all of it here. Just leave a bit to do on camera. And here I'm just using pinks and yellows, starting with yellow on the outside, going to the darkest pink. Again, smudging inwards towards the darkest colour. Doing every other petal and then letting it dry for a bit and doing the next set, 3 petals, every other one. The purple flowers, there were some missing. If you can see it without it spinning around all over it, sure. The missed off a section behind that yellow flower that my finger's now on. I was just doing I faked some up, I drew some. Sprayed it with fixative, and then now I'm scraping Liquitex matte medium over the top very quickly so it dries quickly. I know that this was supposed to be on a little piece of paper, but I'm trying to work in a book this year, so I hope that I'll be forgiven for putting it in my book. So basically I put a piece of tape down the centre, excuse me a minute, sorry about that. I put a piece of tape down the centre to stop anything that I was going to put on the page flooding down onto the other pages, and then scraped gesso around the middle bit, fussy cutting and going around with a pit pen. I approach it from the back. If you go into my videos and look for edging techniques, Mick will put a link on this video. That's the stamps and the ink that I used. There's some good tips about edging, how not to slip down the front when you're edging and other things in there. It's not a bad video in my opinion, but there you go. Well, in somebody else's opinion, because they were talking about it as well, weren't they? Right, I'm clipping my images where I want them, because I know that stuff's got a tendency to move, so I'm clipping them down with clips, gluing the bottoms, then working my way up. Putting it's matte medium that I'm doing the same matte medium, gluing it down with. Same with the other corner. Now I'm using licorice craft paint and making it dark round the outer edges, going into the flowers and doing the bits that I didn't bother cutting out, and sort of making it so it looks like you're looking down a very black tunnel or up a well, just sort of going round and round and leaving a lightish patch in the centre, because I was going to write on it summer's around the corner, spring's around the corner, sorry, because the flowers are around the corners and with the dark and everything, and the bugs being half covered up. It's like they're in hibernation. I don't know. You know what goes through your head when you do things like this. You don't. Well, you don't do things like this, so I'm sure other people understand. You don't think so? Right, I tried doing a lot of different butterflies. I think this were third or fourth butterfly that I tried. I used the purples and I actually wet them with matte medium this time, different matte medium, can't remember what make it is, but I didn't activate them with water, I activated them with matte medium. Then this is a stamp positioner, homemade stamp positioner. There'll be another video linked to this video somewhere. Homemade stamp positioners, they're absolutely brilliant things. They're really good for if you really need to stamp on something that's a little bit wobbly, let's say, or you need to keep on doing it. Sorry, I've got a right frog in my throat. Okay, now I'm doing some shadows. I've been playing an awful lot with shadows lately, trying to work out how they land on something. There's videos out there to teach you how to do a shadow from sort of a building onto a floor, or a ball onto a floor, but I can't really find anything about undulating surfaces where a shadow's falling on something that's not straight. So I'm playing about with shadows to try and teach myself, then I can maybe pass on some tips, to you people who watch me. Here I'm just sticking the flowers down that I couldn't possibly cut around, and the ones that were missing from the initial pattern, because there's no way I could have cut around them tiny little stems, so I drew them on, or I'm going to draw them on, with pit pen, a very fine pit pen, and it does stand out because it's not entirely black. Sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat. I give everything a coat of Mod Podge, that's why it just went pitting bright. Now I'm going over the butterfly with the Diner purple and then the Diner turquoise. It's not the palest blue, it's the turquoisey blue, and it shimmers when you hold it up to light and tilt it, but it's not right good under camera and photograph, so you don't really get to see that bit of it too well. These are pigment markers, and I'm putting them on in little places and then smudging it out with a slightly dampened brush, not a very waterlogged brush, just slightly dampened, and then I'm going over certain places again with the Diner. Here I'm just reinforcing the shadows with watered down black acrylic ink that's got matte medium in it, because when you water it down to make it look like a grey, it weakens the paint. So if you put something like matte medium in, it strengthens the paint again, even though that it's very thin. I drew 3 lines and then designed a border, but you couldn't see it because it was in pencil on black, so it was really hard for you to see, so I couldn't really show it you. So I hope you can tell what I've done there. I went round it in green Posca and then coloured it in with yellow Posca, which took quite a lot of doing and quite a few layers of it. I don't know. I don't know whether my Poscas needed shaking or something. They just didn't seem to do it right good. Right. I wanted it to be not all yellow, the inside bit not all yellow, so where it was going over, say, a pink or an orange flower, I put a little skim of very watered down green fluorescent paint, day glow paint, whatever you want to call it, and then blended it out with the yellow, and then where it was going over the black or the green, I went in with the orange and the pink day glow colour, just as a very, very thin wash, and it made an awful lot of difference. It makes it really stand up off the page. Right, I decided to do a shadow, drop shadow, just a shadow of that onto the flowers again, to practice how a shadow from that will drop down onto it. Although the flowers are basically lit from slightly above, and that border's lit from very, very high above. I don't really care, that my light source is coming from sort of 2 directions, but it was a practice on doing shadows. So, well, I feel like I've talked myself to death. Sorry. Mick's probably agreeing with me, saying that I've talked him to death. I hope you like it. I hope that you've took something away from, it, even if it's just try, to do shadows. Even if you don't get them quite right, it sort of adds something. I mean, that last picture there that it just went past, it really looked like the light was coming under and hitting the petal, and I hadn't put any highlights on it. I just purely put shadows on this. Maybe I should have put some highlights, I don't know. Anyway, please give me a thumbs up and share it. If you're new to me, have a look around. I've got some playlists and I do an awful lot of different types of art, craft, DIYs, make it yourself like tools and things. So, you know, I don't just do art journal pages, although I absolutely love doing them. And there's more to come with using adult colouring book pages. I've got a lot of ideas for using them after you've done them, if you don't want them, you know, just stuck in a book. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching and everything, and subscribe if you're new. I hope you're all well. Take care. Bye.